What is up, everybody? My name is Whooped. Welcome back to, or welcome to my Winter Learn to Top 100 series. We've been doing pretty good lately, trending upwards for sure. So I'm just chilling in the game, getting some clips for a video I was working on, and I see somebody in chat ask a question about a unit, and so I answer it. So Fifthwiel sees my message in chat, and he goes, "Hey, Winter Learn to 100 or die trying?" And then he asked if I wanted a 1v1. And I was like, sure, why not? And so here we are. We're going to do a replay analysis of that game to find out where and how I can improve. And also, I just want to say thank you to Fifthwiel for the game, and I appreciate your support. Okay, so the game actually started me on Fifthwiel's side. And so our stuff's on the right. So our health bar and everything's on the right side. I had to rotate the camera so that it's looking from our angle. And so we started Quick Supply, and he started Marksman Specialist. So it looks like he added 2 Marksman down to go along with his level 3 Orange Band. So round one's just pretty standard for both of us. The only thing I'll say about it is we do have a lot of marksmen on the field. I went marksman because they're pretty decent into Tarantula, and they'll, supplement my sledgehammers. Sledgehammers by themselves won't be able to kill them, but with marksmen behind them, they should be able to take care of them, no problem. Here he goes, "Hey, sorry about the missile. I didn't know about the Stormcallers." And I'm like, wait, what missile? And so I knew immediately that he threw a missile down, somewhere in the vicinity over here, so that he's going to kill my Stormcallers. And so I'm like, okay, well, I didn't like the placement anyway. I probably wasn't going to keep him there. I wanted to put him behind my sledgehammers, but I didn't know if I wanted to keep him, this far behind other units. And so I'm like, okay, am I going to do that? Am I going to put a shield over him? Because, I like to put my early shields to protect them. I'm like, but I don't know if I would have done that if he didn't tell me about it. And so I really didn't know what I would have done prior to that knowledge. And then I'm thinking, well, it's not really my fault he told me, right? So I could throw down like static missile defense or something. I don't know. I didn't really know what to do. And so I ended up just not doing anything. I just took the missile because I wasn't really sure what direction I would have gone. Probably not the smartest decision, but honestly, I wanted to play it like how I would have played it. Okay, so I take the smoke bomb here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm protecting my stuff just in case he throws out another missile. The reason I put the smoke bomb on the left side is because I thought he was going to shield in the middle. I also like shields against early wasps. It allows my marksmen, it gives them just more time to kill the wasps if I don't have something like Mustangs. Okay, well, I took subsidized Stormcaller, but I actually threw down wasps myself. Yep, I'm definitely conscious about him trying to use missiles now against my front units. The reason I'm using wasps is that I want to aggro his marksman, and I want to let the stuff behind me, obviously go to work. And they're like tertiary air support. They did help a little bit against his wasps. Okay, so it's starting to normalize out a little bit. I feel like I was still reeling from the decision not to do anything about the first century missile. It kind of put me on like a back pedal. But these rounds seems to be going okay. I don't win this round, but it's, it still seems to be going okay. So I actually opt for the Mustangs, and I get anti-missile on them. Now, I could have had the Typhoon, right, for his wasps, but I didn't feel like his wasps were that big of a threat. I felt like his missiles were more of a threat. So he has ranged Stormcallers, and I'm going to use Mustangs to counter him. Mustangs with anti-missile. Now, if you notice in the game, I don't upgrade my Mustangs at all. I don't make them level 3s. I don't get any other tech. Their job is Missile Interceptor, and I got them as free deployments. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so his Rhino is just wrecking havoc. Unfortunately, it just crashed my front line. So I know I need to do something about that. It's the question, how do we approach it? It's a few different ways. Of course, I think you know what way I'm gonna go. I'm gonna opt for the Scorpion, probably. So here I'm gonna Missile Strike. I'm gonna Missile Strike some of his Wasps. And he's doing the same to me. So I get poison on the Scorpions because I want to kill his Rhino that comes charging in. Now he sold the Rhino, which I think is a smart play, because he made me tech into something that, you know, is no longer a threat. The reason I didn't Missile Strike the front is because I figured, you know, he would have shields in the middle. I also supplemented the Mustangs with 2 static anti-air. And I feel like that's all I really need. He has 3 Stormcallers. I have 4 things of anti-air. I think that's perfect. Okay, so this is, I think, is like one of the biggest tides in the game. Is I'm throwing down the smoke, right? But it relies on him not throwing down shields. And he ended up not throwing down shields, which is, I think, is a very pivotal moment. So the Mustangs are anti-missile, but they're doing great air support as well. And then, of course, the marksmen are just going to work on his overlords. And the funny thing is, his overlords, his primary weapon can get shot down by anti-missile. So I don't think going overlords was the best option, given that I do have anti-missile. Assuming that he's going to place down more. I go ahead and I get my marksman range, and I plop down, I think I put down another couple anti-missiles. Static anti-missile. Yeah. So now I have 4 static anti-missile, which will help shoot down his overlord's weapons. And then the Phoenix are doing work as well. I took out his missiles 100%, and so my chaff is just running wild towards him. So that was fantastic. Okay, so there's a few things I felt off about this game. The first one was, you know, not doing anything about that first missile really threw me off. But also, I got really lucky with the fog that was right here. And had I not got lucky with that, I'm not really sure how the rounds would have turned out. I think he did a great job selling the Rhino, forcing me to tech in the Scorpions. The fortunate part for us is that ranged Scorpions with poison or acid just absolutely destroys the front line. So the Tarantula is going to be gone. His steel balls will be gone, right? All the chaff that runs through the poison are just going to get shot down easier. So it still is a net positive for us, but I do think that was a pretty good move on his part. All right, so we're going to take over Fifthwiel. the round that I threw down the smoke bomb. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. We'll pay the range tax. We'll get more Mustangs for mostly chaff clearing purposes. And then we'll throw down some anti-missiles. Static anti-missile. Let's borrow. And we're gonna double. We're gonna double up each side of our shield, so we're gonna quad shield. And let's see how this does, right? Just so we can compare. Okay, so the smoke doesn't get thrown down, which is fantastic. So no smoke for round 7 or 8. Yeah, the scorpions are going to be hard to deal with, for sure. This is an interesting fight. That was very, very close. Ooh, so it looks like I won barely. Barely. Okay. Just throwing down the shields in the middle, and I think, you know, going into a little bit more chaff clear really turned the tide. And so, as myself, how do I prepare against that? Is basically the question. You know, what do we do to go against that? So, do I need more storms because he has a lack of anti-missile? So getting more storms is an option. I didn't tech into him nor level him up. So is that a direction that we can go? And likely that is the direction I would have gone had he thrown down Mustangs. I would have immediately probably switched to. I have high explosive. Wait, what? High explosive anti-tank shells. That is, I guarantee you, that is not what I was running at all. I had incendiary bomb for sure. I would have thrown down incendiary bomb. That would have been my counter against the Mustangs. And then I just would have relied on the Scorpions to carry me. I might have put a Scorpion on the right side. It's an interesting, thought process for sure on what, would have happened. Obviously, there's too many variables to factor in how everything would play out. But it was definitely interesting to see, what the difference in shield and chaff clear made. I only ended up winning by, 300. So that's pretty cool.
This is Mechabellum, and it's going down. Whooped, got it